Welcome to Eat Sleep Nerd, a podcast where you can check out, go AFK, and relax with us as we discuss all things nerd. Comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, and anything else that gets geeks more worked up than Miles Morales in the multiverse. What's up, and welcome to episode number 60. I am your dorky DJ, Corey Winter, and in this episode, new Spider-Man movies have been confirmed, including Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4. Redfall developers wish their game had been canceled. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth really is still happening. And are pandas bears or raccoons? Joining me as always...
Did we just talk about this?
We're going to have a follow-up. Joining me as always is Jason Summer and Christian James.
What it is?
What? You just sounded, you're like Jason Summer, like again. Like, my bad. I can just go.
I was saying it
whatever.
dramatically. Jason Summer.
Be like Jason Summer,
Jason Summer.
and Christian James. Join Corey Winter for Eat Sleep Nerd, episode 60.
That's pretty good.
You have a good voice for that. Wow.
There's a new career.
Yeah.
Listen on Sunday.
Not that one.
So if you haven't
Not
noticed,
that one. Okay.
Josh is not here, which sucks. I always
suck.
hate it when someone's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need you guys
It
to
throws
get
off our
together.
vibe.
I need you guys to
Yeah.
get together. Like,
I mean,
I just want
we would say and just bring the kids.
just bring the. That's actually a fun idea. That'd be crazy.
Just bring the kids. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll be sitting over here in Iowa, Indiana, and and I'm just like, wow, guys, looks kind of chaotic over there.
That'd be an entertaining episode.
Yeah.
Because kids say the darndest things. That's where he is. If you haven't figured that out, Josh is off doing dad things. But I just want to say, I've never missed an episode. So just guys, what is going on?
Well, there's a reason for that.
I mean,
There's only Corey's our guy in the chair.
Yeah.
There's no one else in the chair.
he presses. I mean, it's in his house. So,
Right.
I mean, you hadn't make me no key
So
yet.
yeah. So if Corey is unavailable, we just don't have an episode.
Yeah.
And I've always made myself available, though.
That's
See?
well. There's been a couple times
see,
where
see.
you're like, "Hey, we can't do it this week. Like, I'm on vacation." Or I have a drum thing. We're doing a competition.
It would be one thing if we recorded on the same day, but we don't. Somehow
Right.
it always works out for Corey.
You
That's
guys
true,
can try
too.
recording without me. I would like to see that.
I wouldn't know where to start to turn on things.
Yes, our audience would be like, "What the hell are they doing?"
Like, I know the microphone buttons, and that's it, and the camera
Right.
buttons, obviously. That's all I got.
And I have nothing over here. Anyway,
You know how to set up
Corey's
your
like,
crap.
"Okay, let's move on." What?
You know how to set up your stuff, obviously.
I mean, yeah, we don't have to worry about Jason.
So before we get into the meat of our show, some programming notes for you.
Some potatoes.
Some,
sorry.
Yes, some meat and potatoes. So if you have not noticed, over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@eatsleepnerd, we have been posting YouTube exclusive videos.
Exclusive content.
So as we announced a few weeks ago, we are going to start separating our movie reviews and our TV show reviews and our video game reviews into their own separate videos on our YouTube channel. And we have started doing that. So this past week, we posted videos for our video game reviews of Star Trek Resurgence and Warhammer Boltgun. So go find that on our YouTube channel. And we posted our spoiler review of Sisu, the historical action film. So that one is also on our YouTube channel. But also, as of this episode airing, we have now posted our Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse video spoiler review. So you can also go find that on our YouTube channel. And
Which means
Spoilers.
there aren't spoilers in our. Are these our main episodes now?
Is
that what we call them? Or are these
is our main show.
our primary?
Our
primary.
primary.
Yes. I mean, but I don't want to diminish the other ones.
No.
I mean,
This is our-
they're
this is
also
our-
equally as important.
This is our
This is our base model.
That's
There you go. I like
This
that.
is our entry-level content. I don't know.
Entry.
Right.
This is our weekly show.
Introductory.
This is
Right,
our
this is the SE
consistent-
trim.
This is our consistent. You can find this every single week on Tuesday's show.
Right.
Everything
Gotcha.
else is
Yeah.
just as needed. I
Its
guess.
own
Right.
content.
Yeah. So
It's the other stuff is fluid.
yes, and if you are listening on podcasts right now,
Podcast.
these videos are exclusive to YouTube. You're not going to be able to hear them on any podcast app.
Wow.
We are driving traffic to our YouTube channel, so you can go find all these new videos on our YouTube channel only.
Now, just remember, you don't have to watch the YouTube. You can
No, you
listen
do.
to it.
You do.
Oh,
I mean,
keep those eyeballs open.
no.
Listen
What
to
I'm
both
saying
at
is
the
like,
same
if
time.
you're a listener and like you don't like you want to listen to us on the background, just turn on the YouTube video and just do your other stuff. You don't
Yeah.
have to watch it. Is
You don't
what
have
I'm
to watch
saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Right? Yeah. No, leave it open and listen to it.
No,
No,
you have to
but-
glue your eyeballs open.
Watch us do all the silly things.
all right.
throughout
So
the
that's
episode.
a level of dedication that I
Clockwork
think
Orange
is a little
style
much.
of- yeah.
Is that conspiracy theory? I think wasn't it Mel Gibson?
Yes. Wow,
Yes.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson. It was like a
And Captain Picard.
Mm.
I mean Patrick Stewart.
Oh my God, was that him?
Yeah.
Oh my! It's been so long since I've seen
Wow.
that movie. Yeah.
What's it?
Conspiracy theory, where Mel Gibson plays a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, isn't
And
that
it turns
ironic?
out
He played
and it turns
really
out
good.
that actually one of them ends up being right. One of the coolest things that I thought, of course, it just doesn't happen. But one of the coolest things that they had in the movie was the way that this government organization can track their conspiracy, their old recruits that are now just like they're kind of just their minds are fried.
Mhm.
Is they've been trained to buy a copy of Catcher in the Rye anytime they go into a bookstore.
That's right.
And when the book is bought, it flags the organization so that they have a location on the person.
It was a pretty interesting movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to look that up.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun-
Anyway,
good movie.
so Jason,
Yo,
on our last episode,
no, we're not talking about
we are
this.
going to talk about this. We have to bring it back. We have.
Why?
to
Why do you
discuss
feel
this.
that what necessary to just keep beating me down? You're just like,
So, listeners and watchers, on our last episode, episode number 59, we brought up, actually Christian brought up pandas because he said that they were, as a group, called an
pandas.
embarrassment.
Embarrassment of
oh
pandas.
yeah, that's right.
And Jason told us that pandas were not bears; they were raccoons. Well, according to research, studies done by universities, molecular studies have indicated that giant panda is a true bear, part of the family Ursidae. These studies show it diverged about 19 million years ago from a common ancestor of a Ursidae. So, it's not a raccoon.
It's a panda.
It's not a
Bear.
raccoon. It's a bear. It's a bear. It's a bear.
So okay, so you blindsided me with this. I did not have we talked about this during the week, buddy. And I believe what you're failing to mention is that it has flipped back and forth several times throughout the ages on whether or not pandas fell more into the raccoon family or into the bear family.
For many
And it actually just
decades,
kind of
the precise taxonomic classification of the giant panda was under debate because it shares characteristics with both bears and raccoons.
okay, so then
But recent studies indicate it really is just a bear.
I was about to say, yeah.
what are you trying to do here? What is it that you want to do? You already did what fake news on last episode? Like you're just like, and I didn't say nothing. I'm like, all right, he's having fun. I will be the butt of this
Now,
joke.
in your
Okay.
defense,
And then you're like, I'm gonna hammer this home.
in your defense, you did share some studies where scientists have reconfirmed their suspicions that it actually is in the raccoon family. So there is still debate.
Right. But as I am a proponent and fan of science, I did have to acknowledge that that I am wrong to a degree, because I thought
degree.
it was a hard and fast truth that they are absolutely linked to the raccoon family. And I was wrong in that way. However, they go back and forth.
Yeah.
So maybe in another 10 years, they'll be raccoons again.
I mean, we'll still give you partial credit.
Yeah, you did say something that I'd never heard of before, so there was that.
Right.
So
All right. This will be another one that'll you'll be like, this isn't true. Armadillos.
God,
They carry leprosy.
they carry leprosy,
That's right.
so don't get bitten by an armadillo.
No, I think it's more like touch an armadillo.
You can't even
Oh.
touch it.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
that's-
because I've never
yeah.
seen one alive.
Yeah, right.
They're always smashed on the
Actually,
road.
I've seen one tearing up my front freaking yard.
Oh,
I was about to say, if you have seen them, they're tearing up a yard.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah,
Armadillos.
in my life, I've never seen one alive.
I almost went out there, got in my car, and ran it over, like where it belongs. I'm just kidding.
It's smashed in the road.
Every animal deserves to live. PETA.
All right.
Oh, he looked it up.
Oh,
we were
in
sitting here.
the Center for Disease Control. In the southern United States, some armadillos are naturally infected with the bacteria that causes Hansen's disease in people.
Oh, geez.
And it may be possible they can spread to people. However, the risk is low, and some people who come in contact with most people who come in contact are most likely to get Hansen's disease. And Hansen's disease, I believe, is leprosy. Yes.
Wow.
So don't go pet
So
the
anyway.
little sucker.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awful.
Yeah. But also, why?
Yeah.
Like, just by default, they carry it? That's weird.
I mean, like, what else do they contribute to the ecosystem?
I don't know. Circle of Life, something.
Well, they are a hunter, and they go after pests of stuff.
So do other 1,000 other animals.
They're like anteaters. Hang
Why
on.
do wasps exist?
Armadillo in the
Exactly.
I'm convinced
ecosystem.
they're aliens. Sent here to kill us all. So yeah, armadillos. That's cool. So what else have you guys been geeking out this week?
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked this question.
I mean, you know I was going to ask it. So
I told you guys about the show Mrs. Davis.
yes, I looked it up. It's an interesting concept.
Like the synopsis in itself
Can
makes
I-
it sound so.
Can I read the synopsis word
Yes.
for word?
It sounds so crazy.
So Mrs. Davis is a sci-fi series available on Peacock. And the synopsis, it's actually kind of a lengthy one, but my gosh. And I quote, after being ousted from her convent, Sister Simone vows to destroy the one responsible, a powerful artificial intelligence known as Mrs. Davis. To exact her revenge, Simone makes a deal with the algorithm and is thrust into a dangerous world of secret societies, religious conspiracies, and age-old legends as she searches for the whereabouts of the most cliched and overused MacGuffin, the Holy Grail. To complete the ridiculous and far-fetched task, Simone teams up with her rebellious ex-boyfriend, Wiley, who is now the leader of an underground resistance movement dedicated to stopping Mrs. Davis. Together, they face a variety of mysterious and powerful forces as they search for the Grail, the one thing capable of destroying the algorithm once and for all. There's still more. As they grow closer to completing their quest, Simone must confront her past, prove the strength of her faith, and uncover long-hidden secrets as she fights to liberate a society they may not want to be freed. What?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the theme. I'll just say the themes of what a lot of people are scared of about AI. It gets covered.
Okay.
But I'll say the twist at the end kind of it's very funny.
No spoilies.
It's very
No
no
spoilers.
spoilies. It's very funny. But
Is
there's
this a movie
still
or
that,
series?
it's a series.
Series.
Yeah,
Okay, did you watch the whole series?
Yeah, I finished it
Oh,
yesterday.
okay.
Yeah, it looks like
Okay.
8 episodes of season 1 are now available on Peacock.
Yeah, you should check it out.
Okay.
And like they're man, I almost don't want to say,
Don't.
but because like the surprise of like how they pictured religion
Mhm.
in the show is really it's cool. It's very
Okay.
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about whether or not when we're talking about convent, if we're talking about convent in the traditional Catholic sense, or if there's another religion that we're dealing with.
They didn't
So
really
I mean, that's my
say.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't
So-
really say, but the main character is a nun.
Right.
Love this.
Yeah.
It is a comedy drama. It's like it's It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
very funny,
Okay.
dude.
Interesting.
Like
Wow.
it,
All
it
right.
it's not like even overused comedy. They're placed really well
Hmm.
throughout the episodes. And there's one, I think the 7th episode. They go on this one adventure, and I can't say too much, but I love the show, so everybody should check it out.
All right. It's on Peacock.
That's high praise coming from Christian. So yeah.
Oh no, he gave Sisu a 5 out of 5. So
But that's my jam.
just his recommendations. Still
You know, everybody's allowed to have one wrong
Oh, God.
assessment.
He also gave Violent Night a 5 out of 5, which I thought was
That's my jam.
That's true. Christian has been like, I'm horror movie, and I like the
Likes
the
the
gore fest and the
destruction, yeah.
grotesque. Yes.
Like, even though, what was it, 8 Deadly Nights or whatever, the Tarantino movie,
Uh-huh.
with I guess.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
But that's everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like, beyond the length, like where it went to, boom, love it.
All right. So
Wait, are you talking about the Hateful Eight?
Hateful Eight. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not one of his strongest ones, though. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, no.
In comparison,
Kind of forgot that
no.
one existed. Yeah.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
The
Yeah,
time
not
it
one of his
came
best
out,
ones.
it was pretty good.
That was about cowboys.
Right.
Right.
What
am I thinking of?
Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, it's set in the
was-
West.
Set in the West.
Yeah, it was in the West. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm looking for a segue. So my geeky thing this week.
So speaking of westerns, set in a cowboy.
I have been powering through Yellowstone. I cannot stop. If we were not recording right now, I'd be going watching some more. I want to be a cowboy.
I mean,
I want to be a cowboy.
do you want to be a cowboy in the sense of like what they make a cowboy to look like, or a real cowboy that does
I want to be a real cowboy.
yard work?
I want to do yard work. I want to do cow stuff. I want
You
to
do
ride
ranch.
horses.
You want to be a
Like,
ranch
I wanna be
hand?
ranching.
A rancher?
I want to have a reason to wear a cool hat, jeans, a nice leather
I
jacket.
want to be a cow.
I want to be a cowboy.
Have a big old truck that has 6 tires for some reason?
Yes.
It's truly a dually.
No. So I'm definitely gonna go and play Red Dead Redemption 2 later
Alright.
today.
Okay.
Because I gotta scratch that itch.
Be a
scratch it.
cow.
I wanna ride a horse.
baby.
So that's an interesting mix. It's I want to go be a cowboy, so I'm gonna go play a video game.
Hey. Also, how has no one made like a Yellowstone-esque mod for Red Dead Redemption 2 where you can like go be a ranch hand? Why is that not a thing?
I mean,
Someone get on that for the PC. Come on.
I mean, well, okay.
We'll work on it.
Right.
as soon
I
as
want
we
to
get-
wrangle and lasso some cows.
let's bring it back
So,
around
okay,
on episode
now-
100.
Okay.
Now, my understanding is that the people who are in Yellowstone are not the best people that
This is
exist.
an accurate statement.
So I'm concerned that this show makes you want to be like certain people in this show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to say that
you're
my
perfectly
concern is
fine.
there.
These
Well,
are perfectly fine people.
it's kind of like
Hmm.
the situation where you find where in some movies where the villain has a point.
Okay. All right. That's fine. No. I
No.
get like
It's
I get that, but it doesn't make what they do okay.
I mean, obviously, yeah, this is not excusing their
Yeah,
actions. or
you didn't
how
say
they went
that
about it.
obviously because we were talking about the actions and behaviors of people, and you're like, "Well, they have a point, Jason." I'm like, "Well, that still doesn't make it okay."
Their idea of what they're trying to accomplish has some weight to it, but how they come about it,
so
totally wrong.
I will say, that's actually, I'm glad you say that because it's actually something I realized that is so awesome about this show is specifically Kevin Costner. He balances that line so well, where one scene he's like this highly respectable, well-mannered, cares about his family man. Then the next scene he's killing someone. Like he balances that line so well. Like how many actors can you think of that balances the good-natured man and the evil? Oh my God, he's just an
Gary
awful
Oldman?
person.
Brian
Gary Oldman, yeah,
Brian
definitely.
Cranston.
True.
But no, you're making a very good point. I've never seen Kevin Costner as a bad guy,
Right?
so
Yeah.
So so that would be interesting to watch.
Highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Wasn't Kevin Costner in Waterworld?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the main character.
I see his face now. Yeah.
Yep.
I just wanted to say that.
He's also Field of Dreams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big baseball movie guy.
And then The Postman.
That was Kevin Costner, wasn't it?
It was. Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also,
Bill Durham.
Superman's dad.
Bill Burr. Bill,
That's right.
What was that baseball movie?
Bull Durham.
Bill. That one.
Bill
Yeah, Bull
Durham.
Durham.
Anyway, so yeah, that's
Silverado.
yeah, he's been a bunch of stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
So
He
Jason-
played Wyatt Earp in Wyatt Earp.
He was wider.
What have
In
you
Wyatt
been
Earp,
geeking
yeah.
out on?
So, as I mentioned last week, this is probably going to be my answer for the next month and a half. Theater. I've been at rehearsals every night, pretty much. So,
They haven't kicked
yeah.
you out yet.
Well, it was good working with you guys. And,
You know, Jason, I've always
No,
wanted to ask
they've-
a theater person, like, what is your personal process on learning lines?
I'm actually curious about that too.
so for me, I have to just say it over and over and over and over and over. Like I have to. What I'll do is I'll cover up the lines with a piece of paper, and
Mhm.
then I'll try to say the lines. And every time I screw up, I go back to the top and I go as far as I can. And then once I start getting the lines that way, then I try to incorporate inflection and what I'm trying to say versus what I'm actually saying.
Right.
And that's when I start moving around and thinking about the character and like why would I say it this way versus another way. Am I a jerk of a person? Am I a decent person? Which changes how you say things. So yeah. And sometimes it even helps to come up with a backstory for your character, which isn't even relevant to the no, but seriously,
No,
because it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
where are they coming from? Like, the director's like, okay, I want your character to be like this, and you're like, okay, well, why is he like this? And you hear people make fun of this stuff, like, what's the motivation?
Oh, yeah.
But it's a real thing. It's really it's part of the whole process, and that's what I do.
I was about to say, like,
kind
that
of-
was the part B to my question. You went right ahead and answered it. So I was like, sweet. Because,
Yeah.
there was a video that came out of Karen Gillian. She was doing like a behind the scenes of when she was filming Guardians.
Yeah.
And she did a part where she was learning her lines. It is that she recorded herself saying the other lines just so it can play back and she could read her lines for herself. And I was like, does auditory or like actually reading them help you better?
I think for me,
I've tried the audit. I've tried the
Yeah.
audio stuff. I've tried it. The difference is that when a different person says those lines, it sounds different. Like there's a cadence to the way that lines are said, and
Right.
and you get used to the cadence. And so when that cadence hits a beat, and you're like, oh, that's when my line comes in, which is different than your cadence if you're saying those lines yourself. And so, now some people like Karen probably worked out great for her, and if that's her process, it clearly works for her because she's way up there in Marvel movies, and I'm I'm doing community theater, so she's doing something that works well. Yeah, that's my process.
Nice.
Wrote memory until I get it.
Nice.
all right.
Yeah, that's always been like a thought. I'm like, man, because I remember in middle school we had a theater class, and there was one little small like scene that we were doing for the school, and I was like, I don't know if I'll ever remember any of this.
I remember doing, I think it was in middle school, a theater class that we were forced to do. We had to put on a play in front of the rest of our grade. So like I think it was in like 8th grade. I had to put on a play for the rest of the 8th grade class.
Yeah.
And I hated every second of it.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Everybody's got their strengths.
Well,
you know?
it was
Yeah.
middle school for everybody. It's like that awkward phase in your life where you just
Right, that too.
feel like an
Yeah.
outcast, and it's just like, why would they force you in that part
Exactly.
of your life to go up on front of the stage in front of your peers?
We even had like a dance number that we did, and I was like,
Oh,
oh
wow.
God, it was
Wow.
traumatizing.
Well,
I think that's pushing it, honestly, for people that don't want to be in dance.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
like I'm just aware of like how ungraceful I am, and if somebody was like, "Hey, can you do this dance for people?" I'm like, no, I would not subject anybody to that. No.
I'll work the lights.
All right. Do you guys want to get into the nerdy news?
Hit it.
All right. We don't have anything groundbreaking to discuss this episode. But
So no shovels.
We have some things that we are hyping up a little bit. So the first one is actually something that I think Jason would be very excited about.
What would that be, Corey?
We're going to start in some video games. So the first one up is an update on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So Jason,
What is it?
You've been asking about this game for a while. When we were talking about the PlayStation
Yes.
Showcase last weekend, you were like, why wasn't Final Fantasy VII there? Well,
Right.
you didn't have to wait too long for an update. So Square Enix has finally released an update on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth after a year of remaining quiet, reassuring fans that it's still on track to launch this winter. Posting the smallest possible Q&A on the Final Fantasy VII Twitter, Square Enix answered the question, how is development progressing on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? The answer doesn't give much away, though it sounds like fans may get a release date for the long-awaited sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake soon. The tweet says, development is progressing smoothly and according to plan. We are currently working on nailing down a release date for the game.
Yeah,
But it's still coming.
According to plan
No.
is very broad. Like
that's
it's moving along smoothly according to plan. Like you could hit all your checkpoints, but if you're not hitting your checkpoints in the time period, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
what they're saying. They said potentially this winter, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
So,
you can have.
I
but
get a little. I don't know why I do when I'm excited about stuff like this. I'm like, yes, point to the ears. So, do you hear this? No. So Final Fantasy VII came out in 1997,
Gee.
and it was the game changer for me for video games, and it was a game changer for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And clearly, it has a staying power factor. The wonderful aspect about this game, other than the updated graphics and combat system, and they've elaborated on the characters a little more, and we actually have voice acting instead of having to read blue boxes. That's kind of nice. It's like this isn't a remake. I mean, they're calling it a remake, but it's not like a remaster. It's the same story, but the characters are like having a deja vu. Like we've been here before, and things are gonna happen. Like they're aware of what could happen in this story that happened in the first time around back in '97, Final Fantasy VII. So there's a potential for this game that even if it's strongly built on the storyline of the original Final Fantasy VII, that it could be different and it could change.
That's cool.
You're right. So it's like one of the spoilers, one of the main characters ends up dying halfway through the game.
Oh,
I'm not gonna tell you who.
Okay.
But she's aware of it, and she knows it's coming this time around.
That's
She didn't know last time.
I like that.
Right. And
I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. I'm
Right.
not a fantasy guy. It's like everything you're saying, I have no idea really what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
okay.
the concept sounds cool.
it's really it takes the remake, the remaster, and spins it into like it's gonna kind of be like this.
I like that we're moving in video games to not just porting things into a new generation of consoles and just making it look
Right.
slightly prettier. Like we're actually getting completely new builds of existing games and kind of turning them into their own thing. So I really like that. Like I didn't realize Final Fantasy VII's remakes were actually just essentially brand new games.
Yeah,
That's
they
pretty cool.
are. Right. It's like
Cool.
it's familiar enough to where you're like, oh, I remember this part, but
Yeah.
then they embellish on things. You're like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like the entire first part of the part one, the remake probably took, I don't know, 60 to 80 hours to
Mhm.
play. Okay.
Jeez.
In Final Fantasy VII back in '97, that may have taken 3 hours.
Oh, God.
Everything that was covered.
Okay. Cool.
So
Decent afternoon.
Yeah.
yeah. That first part, yeah, you could probably knock it out in 3 hours before you actually hit the main world and get out of the main city that you start in is called Midgar. It took me 80 hours to finally get out of Midgar at the end, and then that's actually the end of the episode, the remake. So, but everything's different.
Yeah,
it's very cool. Anyway, that's why I'm so excited. I'm like, where is the story going to go? It's not just the remake part. It's like, what are they going to do with this? It's really fascinating.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So that was supposed to be like a little bit that Corey was like,
no, man,
so here's a little bit of news, Jason.
Hey,
okay,
I'm opening the door for you to geek out on something. I love it. All right, my turn.
I love it. It's so wonderful. Yeah, you just keep going.
So wonderful. All right, my turn. The next story that we're going to talk about is still some video game stuff. So this one is some stats that EA has published on the Star Wars Jedi Survivor video game. It's some player stats. So they kind of took all these things, they gathered all these stats from the way people have been playing the game. And Jason, I'm actually going to share my screen for you. So everyone, if you're watching us on YouTube, I can't see what buttons I'm clicking. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll be able to see what I am sharing with us as well. So they tweeted this out this past week, some gameplay stats from players of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And there were some interesting takeaways here. So obviously they shared some stats about the way people have been like all of their stances, like their lightsaber stances and stuff. 31% enjoyed playing with a single blade. 29% enjoyed the dual blade and stuff like that. So some more interesting stats is the game difficulty that people have been playing on. So you had 5 choices when you're playing the game. You can play in story mode, which is like baby mode. You're not really, the difficulty in combat's not there at all. It's really just focusing on the story. Then you can play as Jedi Padawan, which is like easy, Jedi Knight, which is normal, Jedi Master, which is hard, then Jedi Grand Master, which is like ultra difficulty. So 52% played on normal, so the Jedi Knight mode. But
that sounds right.
More people played on the easier modes than they did the hard modes. So 14.5% played on story mode, 15% played on Jedi Padawan, so the lower level modes. Only 14% played on Jedi Master, so the hard mode, and only 4% played on Grandmaster.
So, okay, is this surprising to you?
I think it's pretty surprising. Like the vast majority of people are playing on either normal or easier modes.
Could you account it to people just want to play the story before they want to go hack and slash?
I don't know.
All right,
would you go Grandmaster first round?
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, have you tried Jedi Grandmaster level there?
I played on. I think I played on Jedi Padawan. So I was playing on easy mode.
You're on that. I was probably that 15%. That just
because I wanted to focus on the story and the experience, but I also didn't want combat to just be so easy. It was like nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, in the story you come across this boss who they have been naming Rick the Door Technician, and the reason this guy has become so significant is because in this game you come across him at the most random time, and he's very reminiscent of the guy in episode 7, the stormtrooper that has like the like you would think he's like the badass, like he was more badass.
Oh, hey, traitor. That guy.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
He was very reminiscent of that. It's like it's just this random stormtrooper that is just badass. So you're in this space in the game, like the doors open, and like there's just this random guy who comes across as a boss. It's just a regular stormtrooper, has like this blade, and he was very memorable. And they're saying that out of all these millions of people that have played this game, only 489 people were killed by him. I was one of those 489.
I was like, so how does that make you feel, knowing that you were one of the 489 that got their ass handed to him?
He came across as pretty hard to me. I don't know.
He's a door technician.
He was really strong.
No. Rick the Door Technician, is that a reference to the Saturday Night Live skit where Kylo Ren is doing undercover boss.
I have no idea.
That'd be funny.
I
I
don't follow that show at all. Sorry.
Okay. No, I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to look that up. But
That's a,
looks like the
that's a-
Rancor is pretty hard.
I didn't have any trouble with the Rancors. I don't like. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the 489 is more embarrassing.
Yeah. So for our
It's like,
audio
it's like
listeners, it's saying
you weren't supposed to lose to it, but here's 500 people who did. But whatever.
Yeah, so for the audio listeners, it does say over 9 million people were killed by Rancors, which is like one of the big monsters. I didn't have any trouble with them. You come across multiple. I think I was killed by them like once. So yeah, I was killed by the door technician. So there's that.
Guy named Rick.
Guy named Rick. Some other just interesting stats. Over
1.8
almost 3
billion.
billion enemies have been
Yeah.
defeated.
Wow.
Yeah, just some other cool stuff. So yeah, this is I'll be
Wow,
sharing the link to this.
those are actually they're kind of fun
Yeah.
bits of stats.
Yeah.
What the heck is Turgle?
Turgle. He's a very like Rick and Morty type character that you come across.
Right.
He's just very out there. He's very out of place for a Star Wars universe, but that's kind of why you love him.
I mean, he looked
Okay.
pretty in
So
place.
percent of players
It said 100% of players like him.
100%. So he was pretty funny. So
Wow.
All right, keep
yeah.
scrolling. See what else we got here. I want to see what else
that's
you got.
it. I think that's it.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
So yeah, I mostly just wanted to share that because I was one of the special few.
I think that's an
I'm
accurate description.
I'm unique.
Shout out to Rick.
Shout out to Rick.
Yeah. Good job,
Took-
Rick, for kicking Corey's butt.
Took me out. All right. So one more video game story that we want to move into. And I really wish Josh was here for this one because I really want to know what his opinion would be. So when we were, I guess a few episodes ago, we kind of talked about how Redfall, Xbox's most recent first-party exclusive, was a bust on arrival. It launched with some bugs, but mostly it was just launched as a unenjoyable game. And it was hyped up to be this next big thing for Xbox. It was getting horrible reviews. Fans are just trashing it. No one's playing it. So a report has come out from Bloomberg yet again. They just keep dropping these bombs on the video game
Source
industry.
of all things video game, Bloomberg.
Right? Bloomberg.
Bloomberg has released a report having spoken to several anonymous sources familiar with Redfall's development after it launched last month to poor reviews and significant technical issues. They are saying their sources from within the developer, Arcane Studios, that the developers wished that Microsoft had just canceled the game before it ever hit shelves because they were so disappointed in what the game had become. And if you are a developer working on a game for, I believe it was like up to 5 or 6 years, if you were a developer working on a game for that long and it got to the finish line, you're like, I just want them to cancel this.
I hate this.
I don't want all this work I've worked on for all these years to ever be seen by the light of day. That's saying something.
Yeah. And it's like, is it one of those like studio things that had like a lot of say on some things that just didn't work that they wanted to work?
Yeah.
And
So-
yeah, that almost feels frustrating for them.
Things allegedly became so bad at Arcane Studios that, despite having put 2 years into Redfall by the time that Xbox had bought out the studio, staff wished it would be rebooted as a single-player game or canceled altogether. The switch to a multiplayer focus, which was reportedly pushed forward by parent company ZeniMax, appeared to be a major cause of Redfall's issues. Developers who worked on the single-player game Prey, which is a game I love, huge critical acclaim, they were now working on a multiplayer game, and Bloomberg reported that 70% of the staff members that worked on Prey had left by the end of Redfall's development. So people were so disappointed on the game that they were being forced to work on that they just left the company completely.
Wow.
So
That just sounds like a bad work environment too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the
so-
company again? That put this
Arcane
out?
Studios,
Arcane Studios.
and they were owned by ZeniMax and now by Microsoft. So, yeah, this report actually drops a lot of bombs from the development of its game. So I'll just be linking to this in the show notes. I don't know. I thought it was interesting that even they knew it was going to be trashed, and they were still forced to release it.
Man.
So is this a game that either one of you were interested in picking up?
Yeah, just because of all the hype it was getting. I like to play the
Right.
games just to see what all the hype's about.
Mhm.
But as soon as it was released and I saw all of the negative stuff, I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time. So,
Okay.
so I don't know firsthand how bad it is, but
What's the
consensus is that it's-
premise for Redfall?
Too bad.
Well, it was a multiplayer game with some zombies, or no, vampires, and you kill vampires together.
Okay.
It's a great concept.
Okay. Seems so original.
Yeah.
Very.
All right. We have just a
Yes.
couple more
Okay.
stories for you guys. So let's move into some movie news. And really, it's just one story that
Movies.
has like 3 takeaways. So
Okay.
Variety did an interview with, what's her name? Where is it? Amy Pascal, the producer over at Sony Pictures, who's been in charge of all these live action Spider-Man films, as well as animated films such as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. She did
So
an interview
good.
saying that they are working on an animated Spider-Woman film, as well as a live-action Miles Morales film.
I could get behind those.
Getting a Miles Morales movie with Jamie Foxx's line from No Way Home.
Yeah.
He was talking to Andrew Garfield. He was just like, I thought you were
Mhm.
black.
Yeah.
There is one.
So going back to Spider-Man Homecoming, we did see Donald Glover appear as someone that could eventually lead into a Miles Morales appearance in live action. So maybe like 10 years in the making, we finally see that materialize.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it all comes together. Maybe.
I think
maybe.
they introduced Miles Morales in the best way possible for movies.
Yeah.
I think he was
His own
instantly
unique thing.
accepted.
Yeah.
But he was instantly accepted as a Spider-Man. As a viable Spider-Man, like a main, you know what I mean, a main storyline Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's would be fine with a Miles Morales live action movie.
What if
Yes. What if?
Beyond the-
All right.
Beyond the Spider-Verse, the next animated Miles Morales movie that comes out next year, what if it's like a
Spider-Pig?
What if it's a backdoor pilot to kicking us into a live action Miles Morales film? It's like what if a live action Miles Morales shows up for the first time in Beyond the Spider-Verse, and that leads to a proper live action Miles Morales film?
Or
Oh,
Okay.
I like that.
it's kind of
Or-
like Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of situation
Okay.
where something happens at the end of the movie where he gets kicked into portal into live action.
There you go, Sony.
Boom.
We
Kinda
just
like
gave
Cool
the idea.
World?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. One other takeaway from this Variety article from Amy Pascal's interview is that she said a 4th Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Zendaya is
Yay!
still in the works, but
Yay!
unfortunately the writer's strike has put it on pause.
That's upsetting.
It is upsetting.
But I support them as well. So
yeah, of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not bummed. Like, I'm bummed about the wait, but I'm not bummed why the wait. Yeah.
Well, in a separate interview with Variety, Tom Holland himself was doing an interview while talking about his new Apple TV Plus show, The Credited Room. He said they have been having meetings about Spider-Man 4, so he's been in the discussions about the next movie, even though he has not been officially confirmed to return. But he also said that they have put it on hold because of the writer's strike. But this is our first mention from Tom Holland himself that he is having discussions about the next movie for his return. Because as we know, after No Way Home came out, he kind of went on a hiatus and he was kind of against the idea of returning as Spider-Man because he was kind of burned out. Because then the year he was filming No Way Home, he was also filming Uncharted. So like it took an emotional, physical toll.
Oh,
on
yeah.
him. It's like he really wanted to pull back. And so everyone was, including myself, was kind of like, oh, is he retiring?
Hmm.
But it
But
kind
at
of
the same
sounds
time,
like,
you can't blame him either because he's done
Yeah.
so much. It's like
And also, like, he came into the industry as being that kid that could do flips. He
Yeah.
did to himself.
true. Don't show off your skills unless you're ready to put them to use.
Yeah. Like, people are, oh, we're going to put you in everything, boy.
oh my God. But we got at the end of No Way Home, we got that really wonderful little finale where he's in the red and blue suit
Yeah.
You know, something he made himself. It's really brought back down to street level in an organic way for the movie, and it really opens up a whole new direction for that Spider-Man instead of being still corralled into having to work with the Avengers and having to work with, you know, other larger superheroes that's part of the Marvel universe. They took him out of it. You know, nobody remembers who he is anymore. So now they can go in whatever direction they need to go.
Yeah.
Because why would they call Spider-Man?
Speaking of
Avengers.
that sequence, I'm not angry. I guess it wouldn't really make sense because of what you just said, Jason. But Hawkeye came out before No Way Home, right?
Right.
It was
like right around the same time.
It was around the same time.
Yeah.
But I know where you're going with this, Christian.
Yeah, and so when he's swinging at the end, you see him swing over the
Central Park ice rink.
So,
Or the Rockefeller Center ice rink.
Rockefeller Center. That'd have been a perfect way to introduce Kingpin and Spider-Man together.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Now we're getting an Echo show.
Well, yeah. You're right. I mean, it was a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Okay. I feel you.
Because it's like, if you're going to have those like two scenes come out weeks after each other, bro,
why not? Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, and not only that, but why deliberately make him swing over a scene that was in Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Like, you have so many other places to have him swing in New York. Why that one? Out of everything, why that one? So yeah, I'm with you on that.
If you believe leaks from industry insiders,
they're fun to listen to, if anything.
There's still, I'm not going to say too much. There's still room for Kingpin to kind of tie everything together between Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Echo, Daredevil. So there's potential for all these stories to link together.
So he's the Lynch Kingpin.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that is kind of the just overall thing from all these rumors and stuff, is that Kingpin is kind of going to be tying all this stuff together.
Did you say Lynchpin King?
Lynchpin Kingpin. Yes.
I was like, yeah, that would be.
It was more clumsy than I was hoping, but it's like that didn't work. So King Lynchpin. There we go. That might work a little better.
There we go. I like that.
That's the end of our show, baby.
No, we got one more thing.
What's the one more thing?
Potential casting.
Oh, the potential casting.
Right.
Oh,
he's even wearing the shirt.
Oh, I didn't have this one on my agenda, but you are so right. We have one more story,
Yes.
And this is getting into rumors. So
yeah, it's rumor territory.
Rumor territory.
Rumor
so if you don't want
has it.
rumors about
Rumor
the
has
upcoming Superman movie
Rumor
that we know is in development from James Gunn, if you don't want any kind of rumors whatsoever, leave.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Get out. So, Jason, what is this casting rumor?
Yeah, so of course we've all been seeing tweets from different magazines and whatnot saying, "Oh, this person's now leading the Superman casting choice," and like, "Oh, this person is going to be cast, and this person is going to be cast." And James Gunn has been like, "No," on each of those. He's like, "I'm going to let you know when things are gonna happen." But this one of the issues, I wouldn't say issues, but none of the casting rumors have ever really resonated with me because it just never seemed like a Superman. But Variety, and I'm going through Screen Rant here, and they're reporting secondhand from Variety that they do have a potential Superman frontrunner, and this guy's name is Pearson Faudet, who is from the soap opera world.
I mean, soap operas churn out some good actors.
Yeah, but Faudet apparently submitted a self-tape that included showing his very Clark Kent-like childhood on a farm in a very small town of Moses Lake, Washington. And while Gunn and DC Studios have yet to comment on the story, apparently James Gunn liked what he saw from Faudet. And he's maybe one of the top candidates, but there still are some other front runners, like David Cornsweet, Corn Swint.
Corn sweat.
I don't.
Oh God. Yeah.
I don't know who that is though.
That does not look good in credits.
How does he not have a better stage name? Come
Right.
on.
But also, let's see, Nicholas Holt. But he might be Lex Luthor. But anyway.
Yeah.
But
I was
this-
saying Nicholas Holt as a Lex Luthor pick.
But I saw a picture of this guy, and I don't like to be a person who's like all about surface and you know how people look and shallowness, because that's what it is when you start talking about how somebody fits based on their looks. But this guy Fode, he kind of looks the part. I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
he's a strikingly good-looking man.
yeah, and he's 6'3". So he definitely has the potential to kind of have this imposing trait for Superman that he can, you know, keep in check like Henry Cavill did or like Christopher Reeves did. Because they both had the potential to be really intimidating, but they were not.
That's
they're
the thing
powerful
about-
but gentle.
Yeah, like some
Um,
characters, anyone can play them.
Right.
But like a Superman character, like you were saying, they have to balance that line between tough and gentle, but also he just has to have a certain like
Je ne sais quoi.
I don't know what that is in the French.
Yeah,
I don't know
like-
the French.
he has to look like he can go work on a ranch, but also go and be a reporter. He has
Right.
to, he has to balance a bunch of lines. So it's a very
Hey,
specific type
Siri,
of
what
person
is
that
je ne
has
sais
to.
quoi? Siri. I'm sorry, I don't
So-
understand. Anyway,
All of that said, so this
Yes.
rumor said, how do you feel as our resident Superman fan?
Mhm.
How do you feel about this potential casting?
well, you know, with me, I don't know if I'm like an objective observer for this stuff, but like in my experience, when you look at a person who's rumoring to play the Superman role, it's like, oh man, that just hits home. Like when you see,
Yeah.
and I grew up with Christopher Reeves, so that's who was kind of like shown to me as Superman. So everything's
Mhm.
probably based off that, but that's Superman to me. Brandon Routh he never seemed like Superman to me. He never quite hit it. Dean Cain, again, never quite hit it for me as Superman. Though, I mean, both did fine, but they never were like, oh, this could be my Superman. Henry Cavill came in, and I'm like, dude, this what? Yes,
I
yes,
just
sir.
noticed he's wearing his Superman shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did just not notice that.
It's very on point. I like it.
So then, no, but when I saw this guy's picture, and like Christian said, he's a very strikingly handsome guy. You're just like, man, he's like so good looking, it makes you sick. But at the same time, he's got like the jawline and like the right like facial length for
Facial
Superman.
Yes.
Anyway, it just seems like he would be a good fit. I don't know anything about him as a person, or I've never even seen his acting. So
You were literally
know.
judging a book by its cover.
I'm absolutely 100% judging off that. But
I'd almost say, like, coming from the soap opera world, that especially where this story's going, like this first movie that he's directing,
Mhm.
it kind of makes sense. I'm assuming there's going to be some drama and some elements of feeling you'd have to have within the movie.
Yeah.
Soap opera's right there.
True.
well,
True.
you know, it's
Well,
with Superman though. You know, we kind of were joking about, you know, he has to look the part. You know, like solely based on how they look. But I was reading an article either this week or last week when they were talking about Zack Snyder and the casting director looking at their options for Superman that Henry Cavill eventually got, and apparently Henry Cavill was the first one to walk out in a Superman costume where people didn't laugh. Like everybody else
Wow.
looked like silly in some way, or they couldn't take him seriously, or, you know, in a Superman suit. And they said that when Henry Cavill walked out, he was Superman, and that is a look. Like
Yeah.
there's an aura that you could possibly, you know, exude with that, but you know, but there has to be a look, and yeah, it's shallow again, but there has to be a look to it.
That's true.
Do you think?
Which is why like Nicolas
well,
Cage didn't cut it. For
I was
me.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
make
was
the
just
Nicolas Cage reference.
Yeah. So,
I was gonna say. So you think people that were there in person for his fitting laughed? Do you laugh at Nick Cage in front of his face?
No. First of all, I'm not that kind of person.
Oh, okay.
But I do wonder. I look at the picture. I'm like, so even to me, even the suit was wrong for me. For Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage's in the picture
Yeah.
that I saw. Like even the suit was wrong. So I'm like, what are they trying to do? It was like I was confused more than anything. I'm like, this doesn't work.
Yeah, if you
So-
want Jason's full take on Nicolas Cage's Superman, make sure you go check out our last episode number 59. He has a whole thing about that one.
Whole spiel.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. But yeah, so that's who they're looking at potentially right now for the new Superman. First bit of positivity that I felt about the whole thing since they dropped Cavill.
That's good. When is that new Superman Legacy movie supposed to come out?
2024?
2025?
2024? No. 2024.
It can't be next year.
I think 5.
2025?
There's no way it's next year. Is it next year?
No, maybe it's 2020. June 2025. Hang on. Hey Siri. No.
Well, while he's looking that up, listeners, watchers, nerds, geeks, and dorks, all of you people out there, I need you to do me a solid. I need you to do Christian a solid. I need you to do Jason a solid. And if Josh was here, I would need you to do him a solid too.
Do like a double solid because he has 2 kids.
Yeah. I need you.
July 11th,
Thank you,
2025.
Jason. July 11th, 2025. I need you to share this show with all of the nerds and geeks and dorks that you know. Because we're trying to bump those numbers up.
or that somebody that
We
you would
need
like to
your help.
introduce to the geek and nerdom environment.
If you want to convert someone into
Yeah. We need
nerdiness,
converts.
this is a good place to start.
Yes, indoctrinate all your friends.
Yes.
That just sounds like kind of wrong.
I know that sounds really bad. Like that word is so strong.
Has a connotation to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a cult.
Yeah. Yes. So please help us out. Share us. You just have to copy and paste that link or click
Right.
the share button. Share it to your socials. Share it to your text message threads. Share it with the world. And while you're here, if you have not already, you gotta click that subscribe button.
Yeah.
What are
Just
you?
a-
How are
if-
you? How are you a YouTube user? If you have not clicked that subscribe button,
Yeah, we're
Click it.
we're worth a subscribe at least. I mean,
yeah, it's totally free.
and it
If I
doesn't
can reach to
require
the screen and
cutting
do it for
pasting.
you, I'd do it for you.
That might be
somewhere down
illegal.
there.
I think that's
Yeah, I think that
hacking.
yeah, but it doesn't require cutting, pasting, other media sites. You press
Yeah,
subscribe.
So subscribe.
And then make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, click that bell button, share us, and make sure you go check out those new exclusive YouTube videos where we review Star Trek Resurgence, Warhammer Bolt Gun, the new
Bolt Gun.
Sisu movie,
Sisu.
and now Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
All those videos are now exclusively available on our YouTube channel,
Exclusive.
youtube.com/@eatsleepnerd. Jason, my God. I cannot hear myself. Close us out, Jason. What should nerds be doing?
You know, besides subscribing and sharing and all that stuff you told them to just do? Besides
Yeah.
that? Oh.
But beyond all that.
all
Beyond all that. Well, you've got to stay true to yourself by making sure that you eat, sleep, and nerd.
Take it easy, people.